Next up for us, 1 p.m. Eastern, New Orleans Saints 2-2, 1-1 on the road at the New England Patriots 1-3, 0-2 at home at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. 59 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 12 miles per hour. Let's get right into the line history here. This is another one where the money line is probably the best way to get a feel for the movement here. So let's go to that and head over to Penny and see what they've done. Of course, this is since the game's ended. You have the Patriots right now at minus 119. They opened up at minus 134. It's a pretty big move towards the Saints. Saints opened up at plus 119 and get to plus 106. It was a pretty wild week last week where so many teams got destroyed. I kept writing in my notes, the same sort of sentiment for these teams. I kept seeing it felt like I was having deja vu because so many of these teams were atrocious. I kept using words like that. So many teams were so horrible. And the Patriots, this is the worst. They're coming off the worst loss in the 29-year career of Bill Belichick. From a total scenario, this is sitting at 40.5. It opened up at 39.5. The first move was towards the under. So this gets down to 38.5. And now it's bet up to 40.5. So we have U-shaped movement, which is pretty wild. It's pretty wild for that. So let's get over to the cash flow for this one. 75% of the tickets and 90% of the cash is on the under. That makes sense to me. But this has moved towards the over, and that will keep me off. From a spread perspective, you have 41% of the tickets and 66% of the cash on the Patriots. The line's moving towards the Saints. From a money line perspective, you have 73% of the tickets and 62% of the cash on the Patriots. Again, the line's moving towards the Saints. New Orleans comes in off a disastrous performance, losing 26-9 at home to the Bucs. We were on it with confidence on Tuesday. We bet it on Tuesday. Come Sunday, I was very concerned. This was sitting at 5. What have I done? But we cashed both the side and you cashed the money line as well. And we also cashed the under very easily. It was a very profitable spot. Derek Carr played despite a shoulder injury, and he played poorly. 23 of 37 for just 127 yards. 23 completions for 127 yards and lost a fumble. They finished with just 197 total yards. The Buccaneers completely shut down Chris Olave. 1 catch for 4 yards despite being targeted 6 times. Now, I know there was a couple spots where Carr just missed them. Michael Thomas led receivers with 4 catches for 53 yards. Alvin Kamara returns from his 3-game suspension, and he had such an interesting day. He runs 11 times for 51 yards. I don't remember seeing a stat line like this. He caught 13 passes for 33 yards, 2.5 yards per completion, or per reception, I should say. That's just wild. The Saints could get no pressure on the Bucs. 1 sack, 3 quarterback hits. This Bucs offense that's so weak put up 353 total yards, went 8 of 15 on third down. They also allowed the Bucs to go 3 of 4 in the red zone. Isaac Yiadom had 6 tackles and caught an interception. Tight end Juwan Johnson was active but didn't play because of a pregame calf injury. And Andres Pete is in concussion protocol. And we've been here with Andres Pete. We've been in this concussion protocol with him. And it's a danger now. I do not think he'll be back this week. Patriots come in off a horrific 38-3 loss at Dallas. As I said, the worst loss in Belichick's 29-year history as a head coach. 24 of those years with the Patriots. Mac Jones was awful. Finished 12-21 for just 150 yards. No touchdowns, 2 picks. He also lost the fumble. Zappi replaced him late. Went 4-9 for 57 yards. Belichick has already given Jones the vote of confidence, saying he'll be the starter this week. The offense was just a disaster. 10 first downs. 4 of 15 on third and fourth downs combined. They made just 1 attempt within the red zone and failed. Hunter Henry led receivers with 4 catches for 51 yards. The Patriots could get nothing on the ground. Ramondre Stevenson, Zeke, and Mac Jones combined to carry the ball 23 times for 53 yards. The defense got gashed all over the field. They did get some pressure on Dak, 3 sacks, 7 quarterback hits, but it was nowhere near enough. And not only was it a disastrous loss, but the Patriots lose 2 extremely important starters on defense. Matthew Judon, they're not announcing it to be season-ending, but they're calling it potentially season-ending, but we all think it's season-ending. Lower bicep tendon tear. And then, of course, this stuff, after being named the Defensive Rookie of the Month last week, first-round pick Christian Gonzalez dislocates his shoulder, and he's going to be out multiple weeks. Just sucks. So, they have huge problems in their secondary. Jonathan Jones has missed 3 straight games. He's a starter because of an ankle injury. Both Marcus and Jack Jones are on the IR. Now, Jack Jones could be reactivated, but I looked into that, and They do not think he's going to be coming back to this 53-man roster immediately. So when you get to that side of things, am I going to sit here and expect a bounce back from the Patriots, who are missing Judon, who is, possibly the most. I mean, this guy could have been Defensive Player of the Year. There was times I thought he was going to be Defensive Player of the Year last year. The more I talk about it, the more I think that the Saints must be bet. But I got to hear you guys and listen to the comments and hear you break it down. So break it down, Troy. Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Saints, Patriots.
Yeah, both these teams vastly underperforming so far this season. Patriots offense looked completely dead last week. Mac Jones looked exactly as bad as advertised, which I was wrong about in terms. Well, let's give him a break. I want to pump the brakes on that because let's look at who he played. The Cowboys, the Eagles, the Jets, and the Dolphins. That's 3 of 4 top defenses in the NFL. So take that for what it is. I kind of put some value into that, but not very much at this point. And how about these Joneses fucking us, or me specifically, with Daniel Jones, Mac Jones, old friend of mine fucked me, Bobby Jones. So these Jones, I just don't get along. Like the Matrix, Al Servic's like that. The Matrix me and Joneses, we don't mesh well. But how do you help a struggling offense, a struggling quarterback, and a struggling offensive line? You run play action. It allows you to makes it easier to pass block. It allows the quarterback to see downfield, and it keeps the secondary honest. But we only seen 11 attempts from the Patriots in play action passes this season. That's 31st in the NFL. To me, that's unacceptable. We already talked about the quarterbacks at the bottom of the list. The worst offenses in the league don't run play action. And here's Mac Jones and the Patriots not running play action. All the high hopes I had for the offensive coordinator to change things, it looks completely unchanged. It looks the exact same as it has in the past. Then you look at the Saints, and let's just call it what it is. Derek Carr is not that guy. Bucs got outgained by over 150 yards. They're 0 for 2 in the red zone. That's just so typical of Derek Carr. They turned the ball over, and Derek Carr averaged 1.4 air yards per attempt last week. Whew, that is terrible. Their defense is ranked 5th overall, and I think that's vastly overrated too. Titans, Panthers, Packers, Bucs, all below average offenses. So despite having this really solid, good defense, they haven't really played any stiff competition at this point. So what does all this mean? I think you're right, Jimmy. I think it's Saints or nothing. It's so hard for me to do that, though, because I just took the L with the Patriots. Originally, when I was looking at this game, I was like, you know what? There's 3 games that this has already happened to me on. I was 1 week off. The Commanders, the Lions, and the Browns. There's all a week where I didn't bet that team after betting and losing with them. Didn't bet them the following week, and I paid the price because it's just a tough game, man. It's just so hard for me to understand what's going on with Derek Carr. He wasn't supposed to play in that game. This quarterback manipulation starting to happen in the NFL. I don't know what to do with it, but Derek Carr definitely looks like he's injured. He can't make the throws, obviously. 1.4 air yards per attempt. I mean, it just the numbers speak for themselves. So I can't bet this game. I probably shouldn't bet this game.
I understand everybody thinking that Belichick and the Patriots will bounce back at home. But how can you possibly bounce back when you lose your star rookie cornerback and your MVP of your defense?
The best players on your team.
So what, we're just supposed to say it's because of Bill Belichick? Well, hasn't that aura around him left? I think that from every angle here, the Saints are a better football team than the Patriots. Now, with no Gonzalez and no Judon. Not before kickoff last week. Look, we were so heavy on the Bucs, but look, Olave coming off 1 catch for 4 yards. Kamara needing to get a game under his belt.
But who do we get at quarterback? It's probably going to be Carr, right?
I tell you, I'm only comfortable when I see number 7 up there, and I want Taysom Hill.
Oh, I agree.
But look, and here's Preston. He is a Saints fan through and through. Says, I refuse to watch the Saints anymore with Carr behind center. The defense can only do so much. Winston can at least throw it down the field. Chris Mack says backwards, and I get that sentiment, but I want the Saints, and I want the Saints before it moves too much.
Yeah, but
And
I mean, if Carr gets ruled out, which they should, I mean, if you watch that game, he couldn't make a throw downfield. He missed every throw he made downfield, and his average air yards per attempt, like the numbers are saying he's hurt. When you visually watch it, you see that he's not right. If he's on the bench, we might get a better line, and I would rather be behind one of those backup quarterbacks. I mean, definitely probably won't get Taysom Hill, but I would like it.
I don't know if the line changes. Do you really think we get a better line without Carr after what we saw? 23 passes for 127 yards. Everybody on the saying under here. Look, I understand it, but it's a very low total. The initial move was towards the under. The under is being hammered, and it's gone up a point. And it's gone up 2 points since it initially dropped to 38.5. So, yeah, okay. Well, maybe I need more time, and I get it because it's hard to back the Saints or it's hard to fade an angry Belichick. But I think that stigma around him is gone. So I want the Saints. Do I have the balls to bet them tonight? Do I need to sit here and think about it longer? Do I need to message you guys and talk about it longer? I'm not sure. But I want the Saints. I don't want the under. I would love to get a chance to watch the Patriots without Gonzalez and Judon in the lineup. I mean, I hate seeing Christian Gonzalez go down. You know, it's tough being a rookie corner, and he was getting better every single time.
And you know what they did the very next play? They attacked exactly who he'd be on in CD Lamb and threw it for 30 yards for a touchdown. I was like, it's over.
I think I move on the Saints, man. I think I move on the Saints. I think I do. Okay.
Press the button.
Yeah, and that's key and difficult. Let's move on.